Hello and welcome to another weekly update. Hope you had a good week. Some interesting things happening in the news this week around Microsoft Teams. So there's been a bunch of new features being released over the past couple of weeks, and they've been talked about. There's a really good video that it's a Microsoft Mechanics video, and it's 15 minutes long, but it's really jam-packed full of features. It's worth watching. There's no kind of fluffiness to it. It's, bam, 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 feature after feature after feature, demo after demo after demo. So it is a good video to watch. It is respectful of your time, and really goes through some of the new capabilities. What was interesting for me watching this is, yes, there's a lot of Skype for Business capabilities that are being talked about that are coming to Teams, and that's very much the focus at the moment around bringing some of the capabilities from Skype for Business and making them appear in Teams. But actually, I think we're starting to see some of the other features as well. Where Teams stands by itself, and where some of that investment that's gone into a new platform, a new way of delivering these services. Stepping away from that old SIP-based model, being something that's fully hosted, fully cloud run, starts to bring some real benefits that are differentiated and really over and above what we could have done with Skype for Business. So it's interesting now. I think from about now, it feels like this is kind of the point where we're starting to see some Teams features that just couldn't have been done before with Skype for Business, and we're stepping above just straightforward convergence now, and we're starting to see some really interesting and cool stuff coming along. And there's some great demos in this video, whether it's the mobile stuff, which is amazing, literally being able to see your mobile phone screen shown as a video feed in a meeting. So for me, that's great because it means I can do demos of phone apps and phone experiences. As a developer, it's ideal. I can do those kind of demos and people can see them just in a normal meeting. That's really hard to do. You end up doing it with video cameras on tripods, and the whole thing's really quite tough to do. Really nice to be able to do that just from a standard Teams meeting experience. And that's not to cover some of the other stuff, the cloud recording, the transcription, the Teams mobile companion app, and all these other things as well. So it's worth going through the video. It really is. Speaking of new things in Teams, there's another blog post from the Microsoft Teams blog covering some of the new applications that have been built and published in May for Microsoft Teams. And this is interesting because there's a bunch of new apps that have been released this month. It's good to see month on month new applications going into the Teams App Store. It's good for everyone. It makes Teams better to use, and it's good to have a rich app store with different applications in it. Standout for me, it was good to see, was my app, which I talked about a couple of weeks ago. Remember this, featured in this blog post. So that's the first for me. So that was interesting to see it, and good, and great, and sort of very privileged to see it alongside some other excellent Teams apps that have gone into the store this month as well. So that's all good from me. Finally, another website that I want to draw your attention to. Now I've certainly talked extensively in the past about PWAs and PWAs being perhaps the future of how we do applications, certainly in Office, and whether or not we'll see PWAs taking on some of those Office workloads like OneNote and maybe Outlook. We know that OneNote is going to be PWA only. And there's been a real push to PWA applications. Now, there's a website I want to draw your attention to, which is PWAbuilder.com. It's run by Microsoft. It's a community effort, but it's been put together by Microsoft. And the idea of it is that it will help you build a PWA out of your site. So we did hear Microsoft talk about doing this in sort of fairly general terms as they announced their support for PWAs in the Microsoft App Store. They did say that they were going to help and make it easy for developers to add these applications. And also I think that they were going to go around and sort of auto harvest applications as well. Anyway, this looks like some of that help. It's a website that will help generate manifests for you. So you put in your URL, it will step you through some questions. It will generate a manifest for you. You can do it entirely web-based. You can download a CLI and do it in Node. So there's Yeah, there's a couple of different ways of doing it, but the intent is that you can easily come up with a PWA manifest, an image that you can submit to the App Store. So that's really good to see. For me, I think it's the kind of future's fairly clear. It's it's where Microsoft want to go. It makes them an awful lot of sense. It's good to see the industry converging around a standard for developers and for publishing these kind of multi-tiered apps that live in the web, live on hosted space, but where you want the experience to be like a desktop app. You want the best of both worlds, and that's been hard up until now. And so having a standard to do that is all over a good thing. All right, that's everything I wanted to talk about this week. Kind of quick one for this week, but I'll let you get back to your weekend, and yeah, have a good week, and I will talk to you again next week.